Small businesses are bleeding 96% of productivity every single day to manual tasks that could be automated in seconds. I built these 5 AI agents that solve the biggest time wasters in business, and I'm about to show you exactly how to build and sell them for more than $2,000 each. But first, let's take a look at what these time sucks are. So here is a business. So the first time suck is email chaos. So research shows that businesses spend more than 2 hours a day managing email. That's about 71 emails processed every day. And what's worse is that if an email gets lost in the inbox, that's lost revenue. Next up, we have invoicing. So on average, businesses spend $12 to process every invoice manually, and they spend 5 hours a week chasing payments. And over 56% of businesses owe money on unpaid invoices. Next up, managing a calendar can be a nightmare. And with manual scheduling, that's 1 hour a day lost just to figure out when to book meetings, especially with all the back and forth and emailing that you have to do. And that's just for one meeting. Next, lead generation. Manual lead research costs $50 an hour or more, and bad leads can waste your sales time. No system equals no scalability. And finally, the biggest time suck of them all, social media. Now that everyone's on social media, there's a constant pressure to post every day. Content creation can take 3 hours every single day. And what's worse is that inconsistent posting can kill your engagement. And that is where you come in. So in this video, I'm going to show you 5 automations that solve all 5 of these problems. And once you're done, you'll be able to sell these to your local businesses for more than $2,000 each. All right, so first on the menu is an email classifying AI agent. This agent reads every email from Gmail as it comes in. It pulls who it's from, the subject line, the text in the body of the email, the message ID. We can also ask it to pull attachments, and that goes into a text classifier node. Now, the text classifier node will read the email and decide whether a reply is required. And if that's the case, it's going to go to an AI agent hooked up to OpenAI, where we can give it access to any database, such as orders, customer information, etc. You can even directly use Shopify or any other tool here. It also has access to a vector store that contains all of your business's policies. And then it'll create a draft in Gmail replying to that original message. It'll mark that message as read, and it'll also add a label to that message in Gmail that you have to reply to it. If it's another kind of email where there's some action required, for example, you need to click on a link, you need to verify your email, you need to share a document, it's going to classify it as action required, and it's going to leave the message unread, but it's going to add a label to that message reminding you to take action. If it's a marketing email or if it's a cold email of any kind and you don't want those, it's just going to go ahead and delete that message right away. If you want to keep track of cold emails and marketing emails, you can just add a step in between where you hook it up to Google Sheets and you add a row to the sheet with the information from that email in order to maintain a record in case you want to refer to that later. And finally, if it's an invoice, it's going to add a label to that email saying invoice and will leave the message unread. Now, next up, I'm going to show you an invoice classifier. So if you wanted to directly forward this to the invoice classifier, you could call another N8N workflow using the execute a sub workflow node and choose the invoice classifier node. So that's the email classifier. Now the next one is the invoice categorizer. So this agent is designed to get a PDF invoice, extract the contents from that PDF invoice, and pass it into a brain, an AI agent that then analyzes the content, extracts the line items, and adds each line item into an Airtable database. And it also creates one invoice for every line item. Let me jump into the database and show you how that looks. So the first table is called invoices, where I have the invoice number, the date, the receiver name, supplier, etc., etc. And this just has the total amount, and it's also connected to the various line items that are there. And to get to these line items, we can go to the next table where we're storing every line item individually. So it's hooked up to an invoice number. It's got the same invoice date, so you can track line items to individual invoices. And we can also see the individual quantities, the unit prices, and the subtotals as well. Now for testing purposes, I set up this invoice categorizer using Telegram. But if you wanted to trigger this from another workflow, all you would have to do is click this plus node, click on add another trigger, and choose when executed by another workflow. Click there, hook this up into your AI agent, disconnect this, configure the incoming fields, and this is now good to go. All right, agent number 3, a calendar agent. So here is the meeting scheduler. This agent takes any input. So you can ask it literally anything, and it has access to 4 tools. One is the Google Contacts tool, if you want to schedule a meeting with somebody from your contacts. The other tool is the Create Calendar Event tool. So this way the agent can create a new calendar event and then send an email to you and the other person, confirming that the meeting is done. And we also have a search calendar events tool. Now the agent can use this in 2 ways. One, if you want to ask it what your meetings are for today, tomorrow, this week, etc. And 2, it'll use the search events tool to make sure that it doesn't try to schedule a conflicting meeting. Now this agent, even though it looks very simple, is actually really powerful because you can hook this up to literally anything. This webhook could be connected to a voice agent, connected to your phone number. This could be hooked up to Twilio and text messaging, or it could be hooked up to WhatsApp. So all somebody has to do is send you a WhatsApp, inquire about meetings or inquire about appointments. The meeting scheduler is going to send a reply. This meeting scheduler can be your entire front desk, automated, that can set and view your appointments and meetings. So that's 3. So this is the lead generation agent. Now this one is one of my favorites because you can pull thousands of leads for pennies on the dollar. Starts with Telegram or an email or an SMS or any kind of trigger. All you have to do is tell this agent to scrape X leads from X place. It's going to figure out what you said and then start the scraping process using a service called Appify to scrape leads from Apollo. Now, Apollo is a huge database of decision makers and employees in companies all over the world. So depending on what you tell it, for example, I want to find pest control companies in Arizona. It's going to scrape all the founders and presidents and owners and vice presidents and CEOs of pest control companies in Arizona. It's going to scrape as many as it can find. It'll filter out the leads that you don't want based on criteria that you set. For example, leads that don't have phone numbers, leads that don't have email addresses, leads who work at companies with X number of employees, etc., etc. The possibilities are endless. Dumps all of that information into a Google Sheet and sends you a notification informing you that the scrape is done. So in 5 to 6 minutes, you can literally scrape over 5,000 leads. The second part of this workflow goes ahead and enriches those leads. So it reads the Google Sheet, it grabs each lead from that sheet, does some extra research on it using Perplexity, drafts a cold email icebreaker, updates the sheet, and pushes that into your cold email software ready to go. And once it's done that for one lead, the loop continues. It'll move on to the next one and the next one and the next one. And in less than half an hour, you can have thousands of fresh leads, each one receiving customized emails, all fed into your cold email software. So that was number 4. And now for the big one, social media burnout. So this AI automation monitors Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok based on criteria that you provided and your niche. And every week, it delivers a set of fresh Instagram ideas, fresh LinkedIn ideas, fresh TikTok ideas for you to review. And if you like any of these ideas, you can just go ahead and choose a framework, set the status to generate content, and it'll start the second part of that workflow, which will fill up your post pipeline, complete with a description or caption, a carousel content for carousels, and a script for videos, hashtags, and some image prompts for you to get inspiration. So this agent can essentially eliminate your entire content research and content ideation pipeline. Now, all you have to do is just grab this script or grab this carousel, make the visual, and post it. All of that research headache is gone. So let me dive into Enid and show you how this is set up. So I know I said that you could sell these agents for $2,000 each, but you can easily sell this social media automation for over $5,000. That's how powerful this is. So this is a 3-part automation. First, we're going to research Instagram based on the inspiration that we provided. For Instagram, we need to use specific users. It's going to grab that user's posts, determine if it was a carousel or if it was a reel. If it was a carousel, it's going to analyze the first image of that carousel, figure out what the theme was, grab the description, run an analysis, and then load all of that into your Airtable. If it was a reel, it's going to grab the audio of that reel, it's going to transcribe it, run an analysis, and feed it into your Airtable, ready for you to review. For LinkedIn, it's going to run a keyword search, grab all of the high-performing posts that are associated with that keyword, filter out any posts that don't match your criteria, such as engagement or comments, run a similar analysis as above, and feed it into Airtable. For TikTok, the same thing as above. It's going to run a keyword search, grab the audio of that TikTok, transcribe it, analyze the script and generate frameworks, and feed it into Airtable. And this is set up on a schedule trigger to run once every week. I set it up to run on Sunday at midnight, so once you get into the office on Monday, you will have a fresh set of ideas for you to attack for that week. And the best part is, these are proven ideas with proven frameworks that have worked for your competitors. The next part is the content generation workflow. So every time you choose a framework and you choose to generate content, Airtable sends you an email. That email triggers this workflow. And if it's an Instagram carousel, if it's an Instagram reel, if it's LinkedIn, if it's TikTok, it goes down a different pack. I'm going to show you an example from one. So once this stream starts, it's going to take that content. It's going to take the framework that you chose, and it's going to generate a new carousel or a new reel or a new script. Generate that and send you an email with the content itself and a detailed explanation of why it should work. From that email, you can reply either by confirming that you like the script, or you can ask it to make changes. Your response is then analyzed by an AI. If you did not approve the script, it goes back and the cycle starts again. So the script is redone according to whatever changes that you requested. The new script is sent back to you, and the cycle repeats itself until you approve the script. Once the script is approved, it creates a new record in Airtable in the post pipeline, and that original email is deleted to keep your inbox clean. And this same process repeats itself, whether it is for Instagram carousels, whether it is for Instagram reels, whether it's for TikTok, and whether it's for LinkedIn. So as you can see, this is a really powerful system. And honestly, this system alone is worth the other 3 systems combined, just for the amount of time that you can save by outsourcing all of that research and content planning, which is arguably the most time-consuming task of being present on social media. So if you want to grab these workflows and adapt them for your own business, or if you want to adapt them and sell them to other businesses, just go ahead and click the link in the description. And if you found this video useful, I'd really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe to the channel for more AI and automation content.